In this video, we review the object definition, security profiles, and custom signature capabilities of the Palo Alto Network's next-generation firewall. Commonly used values in policy definitions can be represented as objects to simplify policy creation. Object definitions include addresses, which can be a single IP address or address range, address groups, which are collections of defined address objects, applications, which can be used both to examine existing applications as well as to define custom applications. In this case, we'll take a look at the defined corporate web server custom application and capabilities about it, such as name, properties, advanced, and if applicable, signatures. Application groups, which are collections of individual objects. And application filters, which are similar but provide a way to specify a group of applications based on individual characteristics such as category, subcategory, technology, risk value, or characteristic. Services can be used to define custom network services based on protocol and port. By default, HTTP and HTTPS have already been predefined. In this case, we have an additional one for SSH over a different port, 2222, rather than the standard port 22. Service groups are similar in that we can define then a group of predefined services. Next, we move to data patterns. Data patterns allow you to specify categories of sensitive information that you may want to subject to filtering using the data filtering security policies. A data pattern assigns a weight value to data based on pattern selection criteria. Built-in patterns exist for credit card numbers and social security numbers, both with and without dashes. Additional custom patterns can be defined using regular expressions. Previously, we made mention of security profiles in the overview of security policy rules. A security profile is a combination of settings for antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protection, URL filtering, file blocking, and data filtering. Profiles can either be system-defined profiles or user-defined ones. These profiles can subsequently be applied to one or more security policies. Antivirus profiles specify the network protocols to decode, as well as individual applications. For each entry, actions can be either to allow, block, or alert. Anti-spyware profiles contain settings for the various phone home and command and control network profiles used for spyware and botnets. Options can be given for specific actions, alert, block, or allow based on the spyware severity level. Vulnerability protection profiles contain settings for network traffic matching entries in the threat prevention database. Again, actions can be defined, allow, block, or alert based on specific vulnerabilities and severity levels. URL filtering defines sets of categories and lists of individual sites to allow, block, warn, or alert. A particular note is the dynamic URL featuring option. If a site is found that does not exist in the local URL database, which currently holds around 40 million sites, a request is sent to the Bright Cloud URL database, which contains over 100 million sites, to help resolve the site category. In addition, for each category, options include to block, continue with warning, override, alert, or allow. Individual lists can be defined as well too. File blocking profiles define specific file and application types to allow, block, or alert. In addition to individual applications, encrypted content types such as documents, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel, and some archives such as RAR and ZIP can be also detected and acted upon. Data filtering profiles define cases based on the defined data patterns to block or alert based on match or weight score. For example, a profile can be defined to send an alert on 5 or fewer SSNs, but block if a larger number is found in a session. Applications and file types can also be selected for more granular policies. Security group definitions can be provided to allow commonly used settings to be set up in a single common entry, named by name, rather than having to go and set each one up manually. Log forwarding objects define which system log messages get forwarded to outside sources, including the Palo Alto Network's Panorama Management Platform, syslog, email alerts, and SNMP traps. Schedule objects define specific times and days of the week and can be used for both security and quality of service policies. This concludes the overview of the Palo Alto Network's Firewall object, security policy, and data filtering capabilities. The next video will cover network configuration.